So good morning, everyone. My role here is to give you a brief introduction to the Next Generation EU program, and that will be further developed from my colleague in the following presentations. Everybody of us has have heard about the Next Generation EU, the National Recovery and Resilience Plan. I will try to make some, let's say, order in the idea and in the concepts that are behind the mainly the National Resilience and Recovery Plan and the FATHER program, that is the Next Generation EU. As I think everybody knows that the Next Generation EU is a program that was approved by the European Commission for overcoming the issues that were caused by the pandemic of 2020. It's by nature a temporary recovery instrument, and using a Keynesian approach, the EU decided to input in the EU economic system a huge amount of money that is calculated in 750 billion euro. You have to think that the well-known Marshall Plan that was implemented starting from 1948 after the Second World War. The value of the Marshall Plan at the current prices was about 135 billion of dollars. So the Next Generation EU is for more than about 5 times the Marshall Plan. And this gives you the dimension of the exceptionality of this instrument. How the plan is financed? The EU overall has a good credit standing, so it's possible to guarantee also this through the standing also the debt of the single member states, and so mainly the Next Generation EU plan is financed through borrowing. The actual borrowing is going to be more than 800 billions, and the borrowings will be reimbursed starting from 2028 and 30 years till 2058. Which are the main objectives of the program? Of course, in the short term, is to repair the economic damages that were caused from the pandemics, while in the longer term is to build, let's say, a better Europe in general and a more resilient and robust economy overall the member states. Okay. In order to access this money, you know that there was a long discussion, but every member state had to prepare and so submit their own national plans for using the funds. The overall objectives of the national plans should have been compliant with the general objectives of the European Union. And there is an important part of these objectives that relates to the uh, improvement of the conditions of compliance to law and democracy for each member state. Of course, the expected benefits of the program are the increase of jobs, in the number of jobs, creating new jobs, and the boost of the economic growth. And again, the recurring term is always the resilience of European economy. So the capacity to face, if this will happen, new crisis in a very positive manner, and in a very flexible, I would say, with developing a flexible capability to react to every crisis, every crisis. Of course, there are some potential risks that are coming from this kind of program, and because and Italy is particularly affected from this issue. There are some member states like Italy, Greece, Portugal that have already, just also before the pandemic, a high level of debt. And you know that being all the European economies all interconnected, the high level debt of one member state can also create problem to other member states, given that the overall debt is guaranteed by the European Union as a whole. The other potential risk that is well known, and that this is something that we face in depth in our webinar, and that we are facing in our project, is about the use of funds, and the risk that the funds are not used properly in an efficient manner. And and also the 2 points above can create tensions, political tensions between the single member states, like tensions that we are experiencing now. For example, when we hear about the tension between the savvy states such as the Netherlands, so the Northern Europe states, and the other states of Europe. Each of the member states had to submit their national plans in April 2001. The national plans were reviewed by European Commission, and the funds are disbursed in tranche by the European Commission according to the state of advancement of the projects that are implemented in the single member states. You know already that there is a continued discussion, a revision also of this plan, according also to the conditions that are changing. For example, think about the Ukrainian and Russian crisis, and so conditions are changing, and some funds are moved from one topic to others. Which are the potential outcomes and the expected potential outcomes? I would like here to point a bit on the wording. That I know that in the webinar there are present also our students of the two masters in EU professions and project. And even though the term outcome can be sound as generic, there is it has a very specific meaning, because all this program must be seen and interpreted in as regard their general impact in four phases. I mean, there is an input, that is the input of resources. There is an output, that are the expected immediate result of every action. Okay, so I am implementing a project for, like we'll see afterwards, for having a better quality diagnosis instruments in the hospital. This is one of the objectives of the program. So I will buy, the hospital will buy new instruments for this. Of course, the output is having these new instruments. The outcome is how many people more I will be able to how many patients I will cure with these instruments. And the final phase is the impact after the outcome. That means which will be the saving in terms of human lives, and in terms of money for having diagnosed an illness in advance with respect to the previous state of the things. Okay, so it's important to distinguish between the different phases of the evaluation of a program. That means, again, input, output, outcomes, and the impact. So the expected outcomes are in general, the reduction of the inequality and poverty, the improvement of the innovation and competitiveness in Europe, and of course, really important, the strengthening of the European Union as a whole, and the promotion of European solidarity. These are the 6 main objectives of the Next Generation EU program. So, green transition, the digital transformation, the reinforcement of the social infrastructure and services, the advancement of education and training systems in general, in order to improve, to reskill or upskill the workers of the future economy, the inclusive growth, research and development and innovation for all, and to ensure modern, efficient, and accessible healthcare services. These are the slogan that were coined for the program as regards the Green Deal. So the improvement of the water quality in general, to the reduction of waste and plastic litters, and to improve the dimension of green areas, the creation of green spaces in the cities, and the usage of renewable energy. And also an important topic is about the food, and to make healthier the food that we are using every day. The digital, the implementation of the 5Gs and the ultra-fast broadband, the European unique digital identity in order to allow every European citizen to access the basic public services, smart cities, secure transaction, and also the usage of artificial intelligence in conjunction with the objectives of the Green Deal and for the improvement of healthcare, transport, and education. Healthcare, so healthcare systems, in order also to avoid a new pandemic, so to enhance the barriers against future threats that may come from pandemics, but also the fight against cancer and the technological innovation inside the hospitals in order to, as main objective, to give to any EU citizens the same level of health assistance in every country of Europe. And of course, the training for the medical professionals. This is about competitiveness. This means a boost on science technology studies, of course, on research and innovation through programs that we will see in the next slides, but also for the master students in the master lessons, and the support to education and apprenticeships, and the possibility for young entrepreneurs to access to loans for boosting their activity. Equality, so the fighting against racism and xenophobia, the promotion of gender equality, the protection of rights of LGBTQ and plus communities, and the strengthening of the EU laws that are fighting against hate speech and hate crime, such as, for example, the ones that we are observing on social media. This is the budget allocation of the overall Next Generation EU, and these are on the right the different program that the contribution to other programs that are connected to the Next Generation EU, while on the left-hand side there is the core allocation of the Recovery and Resilience Facility that is divided equally, more or less, into grants and loans. This is an interesting dashboard that you can visualize online. I will try also to open it and to share in my screen. I hope you can see it. Yes, and where you can check and monitor the status of the implementation of the program in all of the EU countries, and of course you can focus. And the different colors of the circles are related to the different areas that I have just described, and the number is giving you the number of the ongoing project in that area. Then you can zoom in and zoom out, and you can also see what is the meaning of the different color. And you can find a lot of documentation here in this website that goes in depth about the state of this implementation. Let's talk a bit about Italy. Italy is receiving and will receive in total 208 million from the program. The funding is divided into 5 categories, and the highest allocation of the funds that are coming from European Union is for the National Recovery and Resiliency Plan facility. Okay. In particular, the Recovery and Resilience Facility has allocated more than 190 billion, of which 65 billions are for grants and 127 more than one are for loans. Of course, the difference is that grants are do not have to be reimbursed, while loans have to be reimbursed. There are other sources for additional projects that are not included in the EU plan, but are funded by the Italian state, that are about 30 billions of national complementary funds. There is the allocation of 13 billion, more than 13, from React EU, and other 26 billions are allocated for specific projects that go beyond the end of the Next Generation EU. 15 billions are an advance of the Fund for Development and Cohesion, and among of this budget, the 40% of the resources must go to the southern Italy for implementing project in the southern Italy. This is the detail for the other programs, so React EU, Rural Development, and Just Transition, that are relatively small program. What is, of course, these are the challenges for Italy that are, of course, connected to the overall challenges of the European Union. The National Recovery and Resilience Plan is divided into 6 missions, 16 clusters, 48 projects with 3 strategic priorities that are digitalization and innovation, ecological transition, and social inclusion. What is required? No, not before. This is the budget breakdown between the different missions. You can see an important amount of money in digitalization, innovation, and competitiveness and culture. Similarly for the Green Revolution, more from Green Revolution. Then mobility, education, research, cohesion, and health. What is required from Italy in order to have access to this fund is to put in place some important reforms. That means the shift from the current expense to the public investment, so the increasing of the public investment, the reform of the public administration, the increase of expenditure in research and development. We are one of the member states that have the lowest rate of expenditure in comparison to the GDP. We are around 1.2. While, for example, the target, the EU target, is the 3%, and there are some virtuous member states that are spending more the 3%, especially the Nordic countries. We are required to introduce, and this is something that is under discussion now, an important fiscal reform, as well as the reform of of the justice, because the current organization of the justice is not attractive for businesses that and for investments that may come from abroad, from outside the country. And similarly, for the same reason, we are required to introduce soon a reform of the work of labor. Last slide, that is a connection for the colleague that will come after me, is about the governance of the plan. The responsibility for the plan's implementation is a joint responsibility of the operational structures that are inside ministries and local authorities that have to ensure a timely and effective implementation. Overall, and the dashboard that you have seen also is the Ministry and of Economic and Finance responsible for monitoring all the investments and reporting the progresses to the European Commission in order to have released the next tranche of the funding. And there is a steering committee of the National Recovery and Resilience Plan that is set up at the presidency of the Council of Ministers, and that deals with the monitoring and the progresses